Hi guys, welcome to lesson 209, day 1. We are going to be talking about simplifying rational expressions. You will want the lesson 209, day 1 note sheet, a pen or a pencil, and your calculator. And our learning targets are that we are going to identify excluded values of rational expressions and then simplify rational expressions. So let's check them out. So first thing here is that in order to simplify, we are going to need to factor the numerator and the denominator. So basically factor everything. And then from that, you're going to identify the restrictions of the denominator that would make it 0. So basically set the denominator equal to 0 and see what the restrictions are. And then step 3, cross out the common factors to simplify. So this example A follows those steps to give you an answer, and it simplifies each expression and identifies the restrictions on x. So in this first one, part A, you have x squared plus 5x minus 14 over x squared minus 4. So this here is a rational function because it is a ratio. It's a fraction like this. So that is a rational function. And what they did first in step 1 is they factored the top. So they did a big X here and factored the top to get x plus 7 and x minus 2. And then in the bottom, they used their difference of 2 squares to get x plus 2x minus 2. Okay. Then in step 2, they took their denominators and they set those equal to 0 to get these restrictions of x cannot equal -2 or +2. Those are restrictions because remember, you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So that's why you set those equal to 0. And then step 3, they just crossed out common factors. So they did that here. They crossed these out on the top and bottom, and then this is their final answer. So they simplified to be x plus 7 over x plus 2. And then they wrote the restrictions that x cannot equal 2 and x cannot equal -2. Okay. Same idea over here, except they have a trinomial on top and bottom. So they had to factor both of those using the big X. Then they had to take the denominator and set those equal to 0 to get these restrictions. And then they crossed out what was alike on top and bottom, and they were left with this answer. Again, you have the simplified rational expression and then the restrictions. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try 3 of these now. So first thing, part A here, we're going to factor the numerator and the denominator. So to factor the numerator, I'm going to have to do my big X. So what 2 numbers multiply to 36 that add to 20? Okay, so you're thinking of those. And you should be getting 2 and 18 because 2 times 18 is 36, 2 plus 18 is 20. So now we're going to write those as x plus 2 and x plus 18. Okay, then on the bottom, this one's not a trinomial, so we're not going to do a big X, but we can take out a GCF. So we can take out an X, and we'll be left with x plus 2. Okay, so that's step 1. We factored the top and the bottom. Then step 2, we need to set the denominator equal to 0. So we're going to set x equals 0 and x plus 2 equal to 0. So this is going to be x equals -2 when you subtract that over to get x by itself. So now we know x cannot equal 0 and cannot equal -2. Otherwise, that would put a 0 in the denominator, which is undefined. Okay. Then next thing we need to do is cross out, anything that is the same on top and bottom. And then we have our simplified version. So x plus 18 is left in the numerator and just x is left in the denominator. And then you just need to write your restrictions. And that is your final answer. Okay. Well, let's try another one here. So again, with this one in the numerator, we need to do the big X. So you have -15 and -2. And what multiplies to -15 that adds to -2, you should have -5 and 3. Oops. And then you're going to write those as x minus 5 and x plus 3. And then on the bottom, this one is actually a difference of 2 squares. So x squared minus 25. Remember, that can be written as x plus 5, x minus 5. Okay. Then again, step 2, let's write these restrictions. So you have x plus 5 equals 0 and x minus 5 equals 0. So this would be x equals negative, x cannot equal -5 and x cannot equal +5. And then your last step here, let's go ahead and cross out what is the same on top and bottom. And let's simplify and write what's left over. So x plus 3 in the numerator and x plus 5 in the denominator. And then we would say x cannot equal -5 or +5. And that would be your final answer. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead, pause the video, and try this last one. And hopefully you paused. In the numerator, you can take out a GCF of x, and you're left with x squared minus 9. And actually, that can be factored even further because this is a difference of 2 squares. So that can be written as x and then x plus 3, x minus 3. So be careful with that. It needs to be factored completely. Then the bottom is just x minus 3. That cannot be factored. Okay. But we are going to take that and set it equal to 0 for our restrictions. So now we know x cannot equal 3. And then we're going to cross out anything that's the same on top and bottom. So we would just be left with a numerator, no denominator. So technically you could do like over 1, but we really don't even need to do that. So let's go ahead and just say x times x plus 3 is your final answer. And then x cannot equal 3. And that would be your final answer. Okay, so that's it for today. That's why we reviewed factoring, because this is really just a lot of factoring and then stating your restrictions and simplifying. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions and have a good one. Bye-bye.